Independence Day. We are not here to talk about that movie, good as it
We
was.
already did.
Yeah, no, instead we're here to talk about arguably one of the most disappointing sequels of all time, Independence Day Resurgence. So, yeah, Roland Emmerich, because he's quite the character. Let's be honest, he can be incredibly overpretentious, which is only balanced out by the fact that it ends up blowing up in his face about, say, 60% of the time. And I'm probably being generous with that percentage, especially nowadays. Basically, Roland Emmerich was, basically your typical disaster artist, director. That is until Independence Day came about. That movie skyrocketed him up high reputation wise, partly due to the fact that he definitely stood in Will Smith's corner since, the studio didn't think a black lead would help that movie, and also getting a very well and diverse cast, and an all star one at that, too. For a story that was essentially about the entire world coming together to fend off aliens. Sure, in hindsight, it may seem a bit vanilla, but nah, it ran with the concept and did some very special stuff with it. Then after that, he kind of went off the rails with his ego, most notably with stuff like Godzilla 1998, where he, honest to God, thought he was going to basically recodify the series and whatnot, better than even the original creators. And, well, yeah, the less said about 2012, the better. But he had one less trick up his sleeves, as did Fox, who at the time were trying to get a good grasp of breath to pump new life into their flailing business. A sequel to Independence Day.
3 years later, they got bought by Disney.
Yeah. Let's just
So you
say.
can tell how long
The
that went.
latest in a long line of studios. Adding them to the pile of the monopoly.
Okay, to be slightly fair towards Disney, and by that I mean really slightly, Fox's fate was pretty much almost entirely self-inflicted.
And as we had talked about with stuff like the Predator, their marketing, and the strategy decisions around their last years were not really that optimal, to be honest.
Uh-huh. Now, okay, on a budget of $165 million, this movie did make $389.7 million, which, overall does not sound bad. The problem, this was not able to replicate the success of its predecessor, which grossed $817.4 million worldwide back in 1996. And heck, adjust for inflation, that just widens the gap even more. So yeah, needless to say, this one was a financial disappointment. And critically, 30% on Rotten Tomatoes out of 226 reviews. So yeah, no, they did not live up to the hype. And like I said, as someone who is a fan of Independence Day, I mean, I may not care for Roland Emmerich these days, but I can still attest to when he did do a legit good job. Holy cow, no, this is terrible. Burn this. Burn this alive. Which is what we're here to do now, is we roast this movie on an open fire. Without further ado, begin at the Fox Studios logo. Everyone ready?
Yeah.
And let the merriment begin in 3, 2, 1, click.
This is also unusual. Emmerich doing a direct sequel of one of his products. The closest we got was him greenlighting the ideas that he had for sequels to Stargate in series form, but that was literally it.
Fun fact, actually, at the 37th ceremony of the Golden Raspberry Awards, this film was nominated for Worst Picture, Worst Director, Worst Screenplay, Worst Supporting Actress, and Worst Prequel, Remake, Ripoff, or Sequel.
Oh, a sequel to a while crowd-wise a really popular movie. a sequel 20 years in the making to a film that wasn't all that good in the first place.
Again, okay, look. Whether you like, love, or hate the original Independence Day movie, you cannot deny that movie had impact and for a good reason. It was definitely a big, high-graphic showcase here and there, showing off stunning designs, amazing effects, and like I mentioned, an all-star cast, so again...
It's the beginning of Tarzan 2013 again.
So, again, for better or for worse, the original Independence Day is definitely a centerpiece of media and cinema, which is why anticipation for a sequel was incredibly high when it was first announced. However, that anticipation would be tested and riddled with problems. First and foremost, the fact that Will Smith would not be returning for this movie.
He was busy filming for the first Suicide Squad movie.
Now, say what you will about Will Smith. I know there's certainly a lot to say about the man, especially in recent day, but no, Will Smith is still a top-notch actor. So a project that's devoid of him is a bit of a weird sign. And yet, funnily enough, it was the Suicide Squad that actually did it better. Although, to be fair, that one had much more reason to not have everyone come back, so... fair beans.
Really?
Oh my god, they literally did the
Wong.
Yeah.
Let me check who did the music for this.
Hans Zimmer did not do the score for Hans Zimmer did
Thomas
the score for this
Wonder and
film.
Harald Closer.
Yeah, another person not coming back for this movie, David Arnold.
Yeah.
The guy who did the score for this one. Remember, David Arnold was credited even by the filmmakers for doing a really good American rousing score despite being British.
Whoa,
Yeah, there's the now former president,
Bill Pullman. What happened to you, buddy?
Yeah, Bill Pullman, who now has a beard.
Mm-hmm.
Lone Star has seen better days.
The sad part is that this is probably Bill Pullman's biggest role in years.
Yeah, I was checking his filmography. Apparently, he was in The Equalizer 2 for some reason. Why?
I mean, the only noteworthy movies that I know people know from him are Casper 95 and Independence Day.
Oh, get
Also
this.
Spaceballs.
So for 20 years, the world has not seen any inward conflict.
Just like in Lost in Space.
That's a good sign, taking cues from Lost in Space, the movie.
It's like the host also, Stephanie Meyer's the host also talks like that. There is no conflict and no animosity. And then
Still given by William Hurt.
And hey, Will Smith. Yep.
So, question.
That's all you get.
I noticed the Madam President. Is she supposed to be like a take on Hillary Clinton or something?
No. Look, there's not much in the ways of political commentary on this movie from what I've seen. That said, this is Will Smith's character's son from the last film, now all grown up. Now,
also, I just noticed. The Madam President, it's House's first girlfriend on season 1.
Now, needless to say, a lot of fans were incredibly split on the fact that, Will Smith wouldn't be in this movie. It was not helped by the fact that it turns out the main reason that Roland Emmerich, mind you, the guy who had gone to bat for Will Smith, pretty much left Will Smith out because, Will Smith had scheduling conflicts here and there. And, maybe just saying his character is off might have been a bit of a stretch, but outright killing the character off? Yeah.
And meanwhile, space miners.
I get the feeling. Okay.
You have to go on a website to find that out.
Okay, here's my theory then. By scheduling conflicts, Jova, he probably means Will saw the script and he thought, nope.
Yeah, but he saw the script for Suicide Squad and was like, yeah, I'm doing that one.
I'm going to be honest.
That's different, Webs. That's different, Webs. The script he saw was the original air cut that we never saw.
Yeah. This movie, no. Script was pretty much the same through and throughout.
Okay. Well, there's one thing we can agree on. That what was the name? That film where he meets his younger self. He has no excuse there.
Gemini Man.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
didn't even have to go that far, because he can go to his own pet project after Earth.
That was
Hell,
way before this.
oh, guys, we can even go before that. Wow. Okay, Wild Wild West could have been good, but gosh darn it, it did not turn out good. Though, honestly, Wild
Yeah.
Wild... Oh, you know, give Will Smith credit. It took up until Wild Wild West for him to have a legit bad movie.
Yeah, that's a basic thing, Joe. My theory is that since Will Smith refused to come in and reprise his role, maybe Roland got petty, and this is the result.
It wouldn't surprise me, for as much as he talks about supposedly being a nice and wise, humble guy...
Shit.
Oh dear. Trouble on the space station.
I get the feeling this is one of those cases where Roland Emmerich at this point was just becoming completely irrelevant to the current movie going on. So this was his desperate attempt at trying to recover.
Probably.
Seems to be the case.
Because again, this is like Theo said, this is this one and only time he's done an actual sequel to one of his movies. So it feels like, okay, maybe I could cash in on the whole nostalgia thing that Hollywood is into nowadays.
It turns out he could not.
Well, I mean, one thing he did say after the film came out was that, hey, Disney are all into that kind of stuff now. Maybe if they do make a third one of these, then that's probably his only hope.
You know, I think it says something, though, that it's been 6 years now, and Disney... Okay, as far as we know, Disney have not come to him for a sequel, so... Yeah.
No, again, Emmerich stated that it depends on Disney, and when they made their statements about their Fox property, this was clearly one that they did not mention even in the slightest.
Gee,
I get the feeling Disney doesn't really care about this. If this movie was a success, then maybe. But since it wasn't, Disney probably is not really in a hurry to revive this project.
You want to know what's sad? Disney brought on Fan Stick to Disney
Also,
Plus before
let
bringing
me guess,
this to our
he's
Disney
gonna get
Plus.
chastised because he didn't follow orders.
I will argue... Okay, wait, is this Chris Hemsworth's butter?
Yeah, Liam.
Yes, Liam Hemsworth.
Okay. To be fair to you, he was fine in Expendables too.
I'm talking about what's happening now. Like he said, they just called it.
Yeah.
And despite saving everyone, he gets roasted because he didn't follow the orders.
Basically,
Fuck off.
Liam Hemsworth plays the... Let's call him the lovable jerk archetype who doesn't follow orders but is secretly, truly the hero with a heart of gold.
Okay.
Well, so what you're telling me, Joe, is that Roland Emmerich still thinks we're in the 90s.
Yes.
Let me see. Well, let's see who wrote this actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people for the screenplay and 4 actual credited writers. Jesus Christ!
Yes, and of course, William Fichtner is the best thing in this movie.
Hey, Roland, you realize it's been 20 years since.
Okay, I'll be honest, guys.
Yes.
I saw this movie when it was in cinemas, and I actually remember thinking I actually kind of liked it more than the original. But yeah, basically, yeah. Okay, I'll be honest. Having seen both this and the two, okay, I can't even count Fallen Kingdom because he wasn't in the film that much. I'm also Dominion. Yeah, I'll say Dominion. Between this and Dominion, in terms of franchise films that Jeff Goldblum came back in for, years after the fact, I'll say I think Jurassic World Dominion's the better one of the two.
Is he gonna be in For Love and Thunder?
Don't know.
I don't think his character shows up in that.
Hey, when did we step into the Predators reject?
Seriously. I mean, Fox could be the same universe for all we know.
Alright.
So yeah, Jeff Goldblum does indeed return for this movie. He's fine. But again, I feel like some of the best parts of the original movie were how he and Will Smith bounced off of each other.
So does his wife in universe, of course, also comes back for this movie?
I think that's her.
Jova?
Wait, Jeff Goldblum's wife or Will Smith's
Jeff
wife?
Goldblum's love interest who he married in the first movie.
I don't entirely recall.
I mean, get what the name of the character is.
Yeah, I don't remember her name. That may be her right there.
She was like the Secretary of Defense, I think, because she was in his contact in the White House.
Well, hey,
Well, at least it.
Lots and lots is set up at the beginning. Yep, that's just like the first movie.
Well, at least with Jeff Goldblum, well, look at it this way, Joe. At least with Jeff Goldblum's character returning for the sequel, it retains the Roland Emmerich tradition of always having a nerdy protagonist.
But in 2016, though, this kind of nerd.
Well,
okay.
the idea is
I guess
appeal
to
to
be fair,
nostalgia for the first movie, I guess.
okay.
Yeah.
To be fair, he's the same character from the previous movie, so it's fair beans that we got him back for this one.
I checked. The character Constance, played by Margaret Collin, does not come back in this movie. And mind you, 2016 was the year where she stopped basically acting for movies.
I wasn't necessarily.
She's still working for TV stuff.
I wasn't necessarily bashing on the movie for it, Joe. It's more so that, well, look at it this way. At least this Roland Emmerich tradition is still alive.
Oh, I know.
So
I was addressing what Dwibs was saying about that in that regard.
I did see the film Emmerich did after this, the one where the evil British villain from Deadpool plays an American World War II fighter pilot, and that one was fine.
So apparently these people managed to get themselves a bunch of, guns from this, spaceship.
Right, we may have talked over it, but essentially the opening narration shows that Earth technology as a whole has excelled greatly thanks to the fact that they were able to salvage tech from the aliens after beating them in the first movie.
Mm-hmm. So I might as well ask, since Will Smith is not in this movie, who gets to punch an alien in this one?
Probably Son.
You'll see, if we ever do. And I will let you guys know, I don't really remember every detail of this movie because I often don't go out of my way to see this movie often.
Mate, don't go.
A map of the solar system. Of course, when the planets align. Wait, that day was when the planet aligned?
Basically, this is a recording of that distress call.
Yeah, apparently the aliens that got fought in the first movie were just a scouting team, apparently.
And you know what that means.
Also, is this the same character from?
From what?
Sorry, Dweebs?
I try to remember the president's daughter in the first movie. That was Mae Whitman, wasn't it? It's the same character, just not
with a different actress.
Yeah.
Let me check.
Played by Micah Monroe.
Monroe in this movie. Let me check what else she did.
Okay, I'm calling it right now. Based on this scene, the climax is going to involve him making some kind of heroic act that puts his life in danger, and then we see the girlfriend being all, afraid and everything, but then he triumphantly returns at the end, and and then we have a big moment where they hug, they kiss, and everything at the end, clearly.
I can't recognize anything that she did.
Basically, these two are fiancés.
Well, I can see
that, yeah. They said earlier, yeah.
What do I couldn't get Mae Whitman?
Okay, let me check what she was doing.
Did they consider her too young at the time for the role?
She was doing, around this time, movie-wise, she was doing Rock Dog, DC Superhero Girls Hero of the Year, and Operator. I get the idea.
Oh.
Fox, simply put, did not consider her material for a movie like this.
So the same. Mae Whitman really can turn in a great performance. Also, this Will Smith's wife from the previous movie. She's back.
At least she's
Played
back.
by Vivica A. Fox.
So different actress.
No, same actress, I think. I think so, anyway. Yeah, same actress, yeah. So I'm guessing this was her biggest film role in years. Because remember, in between, she was in such classics as Cool Cat Saves the Kid.
Oh, wait. She went from Independence Day to Cool Cat Saves the Kids? Wow.
Yes. Or more accurately, Cool Cat Stops Bullying and all the rest of it. But yeah, Cool Cat Saves the Kids was one of the specials.
Was she on some high-end bills or whatnot? Like, I'm sorry. I take one look at Cool Cat.
Her in Cool Cat, her was just a simple cameo along with another relatively famous actor, which his name escapes me.
There he is!
There he is!
Seriously, though, how much did Daddy Derek pay for that? Like, holy cow. Okay.
In addition to I'm trying to look it up now. Here we are. Rain Lau, that woman was played by Angela Baby.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen her before, actually. She was Diana, Agent 47's handler in 87, which list.
Oops.
And also distributed by Fox. No, I'm contemplating my career. Seriously, why? My brother's 4. I'm stuck in this film.
Let me check. I remember Liam Hemsworth were also being present in other bad movies.
Oh.
Ow.
Well, he punched someone, but not an alien.
Here, the same thing. Also, there you go. He was in the Hunger Games series.
So yeah, don't you see, they used to be friends according to the picture, but something went wrong. Can they ever see eye to eye again?
I never understand this in movies. Why did he always lie about, oh, we weren't having a fight, sir, we swear? Did he...
Protocol, because, not court martial, but, being reprimanded by your superior for stuff like infighting is like a grave offense that can potentially taint your entire military career.
Not only that, it can also
Is there any wonder why battles keep getting lost in fights? Why battles keep getting lost because teammates can't get cut, because soldiers can't even cooperate?
So you're gonna die.
Yeah.
Oh, come now, Tio. Just because he looks up to him like that, and just because he's the only person in his family who's apparently alive...
I'm bored.
VR missions and all that.
Based on the one that Will Smith did. I recognize the set.
And that's how Will Smith apparently died.
Are you sure that's Will Smith? Before that was like...
No, I think it was based on the first sequence of the first movie.
Marilyn Whitmore Hospital. A lot of places are bouncing back and forth too.
Oh yeah, this guy. Remember, he was put into a coma in the first film.
Brent Spiner. Yeah, we mentioned that in the first movie. Somehow, Brent Spiner survived the event of the first movie when he was clearly showcased, but he kind of died.
And he gained weight while in a coma. Wait, what?
Yeah, I mean, I know. Brent Spiner's obviously 20 years old. Oh.
Brent, we're filming. We're not doing Geppetto anymore.
Okay, question. In terms of film appearances, is this better or worse than either Star Trek Nemesis or Spies in or Master of Disguise?
Wait, are you asking if this movie is better or worse than those?
Yeah.
Okay, I know. Let's see. Okay. I'd argue it's as bad as Master of Disguise, but in a different way. Master of Disguise is just painfully unfunny and annoying. This one is painfully bland and gets a lot, and I do mean a lot of stuff wrong. So
Also, the filtering, everything is fucking blue in this.
yeah.
It's like a good day to die hard.
Or I know who killed me. Dabudi Dabuda, Jesus Christ.
Has the moon fallen into the sea?
Like, okay, yeah, you know what? This is another problem. Comparing this to the original went out of its way to have immense variety of different colorful locales and locations here.
That's a different color.
There still has that stupid blue filter, though, save for some
not
brown.
necessary for this.
No. I mean, seriously, though, look a bit closer and you'll notice there's a bit of a blue filter over the screen. Like,
maybe that's how everyone on set's feeling.
Maybe.
Okay, maybe. Okay, I'll give this film credit. Everyone in the film's trying. Their acting quality, it depends on the actor. I mean, I remember even when I was watching the film in the cinema, I wasn't really convinced by either Liam Hemsworth or Angelica.
Very funny, Jeff. No surprise! Oh,
Okay, I get it. Obviously, no director ever is going to make their movies the exact same way throughout their whole career. Obviously, they change up their style a bit to, not feel like all their movies feel the same or anything. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean, Waves, but at the same time, not necessarily applicable for this. But Emmerich, throughout the course of the 90s and early 2000s, at the very least, still loved to use the same, character stereotypes.
He really like
the token black guy, the token Jewish, the token military grab stereotype.
Not helped by the fact that he also had pretty much a copy-paste formula with not only the making of his movies,
but the protagonist there with glasses. Yes, there you go.
There's also the token woman.
Yes. With the personality of being girl.
Oh yeah, speaking of which, a lot of fans did not really dig Mike Monroe as the replacement of Mae Whitman as Patricia Wilmore. Again, I'm sure Monroe is nice and all. It's just that compared to Mae Whitman, she's
well, I can tell you that for this case I particularly don't care.
Sorry, what was that, Dribs?
I was going to say, mate, technically it's not... The language isn't called Chinese, it's Mandarin. Well, at least one of the languages there, anyway.
I think part of the problem is like, okay, if you're really going to change up the actor, and, it's not something that was, outside of your control, like, say maybe the actor just didn't want to come back, that's fine. But as far as we know, Mae Whitman had no objections. And again, maybe if the actress replacing her turned in a stellar performance, I would be keen. But I'll just let you know, Micah Monroe's performance is nothing to write home about. And that's being nice, honestly. Like, and granted, you know what? Maybe it's not even her fault. If anyone is to blame, I think I would sooner blame the director for, directing people bad.
So yeah, I guess Verby just came back. Hi.
Wait, hold on.
All these years, Roland, and you still kept the military with trigger-happy military guy.
It's okay, they have Jeff Goldblum to show them the way.
Yeah, sorry we infected you with a virus. The council will decide your fate.
Well,
Yep,
screw what the council says.
We got the Council of Council.
Nuke the fucker.
That's right. Just take out the giant Death Star looming over you. It's that simple.
I was gonna call it the arc.
I guess the moral of the story is.
Oh wow, it worked.
I guess the moral of the story is ignore Jeff Goldblum at your peril.
Well, there you go, guys. Mission accomplished.
Ignore him
guessing,
and blow shit up.
I'm guessing down the horizon the big mothership will just blow over or something. Oh, okay. Something tells me not.
Wait, this bit.
Ah, yes, the
How
shoot
does
first,
this
ask
make-
questions later approach.
Also, how does this make it political? Because they want you in the White House? Phrasing.
Yeah.
Tio, a government can make anything political if they put their mind to it.
So, also, a fun fact about one of the film's writers/producers, Dean Devlin.
I think I heard that name already.
He worked on the previous movie, and indeed he worked with Roland Emmerich on a lot of his.
Sorry, Godzilla, the Patriot. There we go.
Yeah, so on and so on and so on. The next year, Dean Devlin made his direct for Geostorm. To be like his friend Roland Emmerich and make a disaster movie. Apparently, it was such a disaster that Warner Brothers panicked, fired him from the movie, and replaced him in reshoots with the director of Judge Dredd, Danny Cannon.
Huh.
By the way, did you get surgery or something? Because you look different.
Anyway, but yeah. Another thing people are split on. Yeah, the past president now is apparently gone a little stir crazy with age, apparently.
Then why did you keep the character?
Well, you'll see what
if your solution is to basically essentially making a tragic figure, plastered by PTSD, it kind of would be more dignifying to just kill him on screen.
Well, it's about what they want to do with him.
Once.
They want to kill him on screen.
They've already done that once. I don't think they can get away with it twice. And they didn't even get away with it the first time, even. So.
Yeah. Again, this is one of the reasons why I consider this one of the worst sequels of all times. One, it doesn't know what to do with, returning elements. And two, when it apparently does know what it wants to do with its returning elements, it executes them horribly.
I can tell this, however, with the elements presented so far, the technology and everything, I can see this more fitting for Kingdom Hearts than the first movie.
Interesting.
Yep, off limits to Warlords.
We need a rated teen or 18 plus Kingdom Hearts game where we have all this kind of nonsense shoved in there.
Clearly, Sherry, the Fox property we need to be represented is spreading our finger.
Yeah, okay.
Kingdom Hearts After Hours.
Alright, okay. If there is one thing that's still as entertaining as it was the first time round, there's still Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah.
Also, this guy looks like a teenager version of John Oliver.
You know what? That's a good point. I will give Jeff Goldblum this. Despite all the problems going on, he is still trying his darndest.
He really does, actually.
Honestly, I have nothing really bad to say about Jeff Goldblum in this movie.
I mean, I usually don't even have anything bad to say about him, period.
Okay. Okay, that one line was funny. I haven't crashed in a couple days.
What really are days in lunar cycles?
Go fight the
Have fun
good
storming the
fight.
castle.
It's really this easy to go into space now, thanks to all the modern technology that we've gotten.
Again, getting technology from the aliens gave us a bit of a boost.
Jeff, we're filming. That's supposed to be Jeff screaming.
Okay, yeah.
I like to think the laughing from the other crew might have been genuine.
Oh boy, Julius is
Possibly.
back.
They brought him back?
Yes, they did.
What's his case? Judd Hirsch.
Again, the character Julius.
Yeah, like, I swore, but he was already old in the first movie. I thought he was gonna, die off screen.
Nope, he's back with a tell-all book about he saved the world.
Albeit apparently only really being able to tour retirement homes.
Sure.
By the time this film came out, he was 81.
Huh.
I think he's still alive.
Yeah, he's still alive. He's 87 at the time of this recording.
Let me check.
Hey, look, guys, it's the old debris of the mothership. Remember that?
Uh-huh.
If you look to your left, you'll see the corpse of Will Smith's character floating about somewhere.
But he didn't die in the first movie. Why would he be there?
Maybe that's how he wanted to be. Maybe that was his will and testament. If I die, inject my body into space. I don't know.
Alright, let's
Yeah,
take
again,
a look.
that's the thing. What I can distinctly recall well, the way most people found out about his character flat out dying is if you went onto the website.
God, that was just... That was tasteless, I'm sorry. How they treated Will Smith's character was tasteless. Again with this
Why did
blue
we go on the
filter.
website? This film came out 4 years later. They would have done this on bloody
Is
Fortnite.
this supposed to be a cameo?
If this was 4 years later, they would have done this on Fortnite like they did with the Emperor.
Oh, God.
Probably.
And again, it's literally the main hero from the previous movie.
I mean, wasn't Independence Day more of an ensemble piece? Like, I don't remember Will Smith's character getting more screen time than, say, Jeff Goldblum.
Let me put it like this. Okay, maybe he's not considered the main hero, but he is definitely considered one of the leads out of the ensemble cast.
Whoa.
Basically, each country is represented by a ship flying across the moon
Makes
with
sense.
a flag.
Again, we showcase the mention of the technology that evolved. I can see that.
Also, please make sure you clear the Naruto runners away from the landing area. Thank you.
Oh, hey! The old president's there, and...
Oh.
I guess he's gonna start rambling about aliens were showing up or something. Oh.
Please get him off before he says a few words. Oh dear. So yeah, because the aliens are coming, those who partook in said experience up close start having migraines.
Mm-hmm.
Those seem more like aneurysms than migraines.
But yeah, I love the quote from the poster for this movie. We had 20 years to prepare. So did they. Well, who's they? Are they referring to Fox or?
I mean, to be fair, if you know what the first movie is about, you can probably guess that yourself.
Yeah, that was more of a joke. Also,
It is a silly tagline, but still.
Yeah. Robert Loggia is in this film. This is actually one of his last appearances before, because this came out after he died.
Oh.
Oh, and speaking of time, they started planning this film around 2001. Fox greenlit the project in 2014.
Damn.
I guess they wanted to get to that eventually. Granted, maybe the mentality was that even they could tell that Independence Day maybe was a success in spite of Emmerich instead of because of him. And look, you know what? I'm not going to immediately diss Emmerich. Like, maybe Independence Day was that time where stuff was going fine for him overall. But I'm sorry, he just has not been able to recapture that spark that he lost ever since Independence Day.
That's the thing, Joe. But his only movie that's even remotely enjoyable, if you ask me, is Independence Day 1. Like, Stargate was dumb. Godzilla 98 was just completely missing the whole point of the material. And everything past and then he made in the 2000s was just kept getting worse and worse and worse.
Like, okay, I feel like Roland... Okay, I don't know if I said this before, but I feel like Roland Emmerich is M. Night Shyamalan... Sorry. He's like M. Night Shyamalan's arc, but incredibly sped up. See, whereas M. Night Shyamalan at least took a few movies before he started getting bad, Roland Emmerich had like that one movie, that one bout where people were praising this movie to high heaven, and he just let that go to his head thinking he could do no wrong.
Wah, wah.
Oh, normally I would even mention...
What do you mean? What does that mean?
It
An
means
object
what
that
he
needs no
said.
gravity.
Yeah. Well, that ain't good.
Good luck getting out that quickly for it. And there you go. Yeah, see what you mean about Angela Baby's performance in this movie? I'm not sure what that was supposed to be.
You mean Monroe? Yeah.
I mean, the expression I mean is like, what was that supposed to be? Horror? A lot more like, I thought I noticed more of a grin. It's like she was happy her dad died. I'm like, what?
Oh, good, we have it.
Like that guy in Sharknado, where he's supposed to be there, but he's laughing and everything. Huh, if you can't laugh at the little things, Dwebs, well...
Damn, I mean, even in jest, no big budget production should be compared to Sharknado in any way, shape, or form.
And yet, I will say this, I find Sharknado to be a legit better time than this movie.
Shit.
Oh,
I agree. Sharknado is fun. This is not really so far. Again, it's a typical Roland Emmerich film, like devoid of any kind of substance, and without any of the cool spectacle to make up for it.
And again, did he just miss, the point with the first Independence Day film?
I get
Right.
the feeling with the first Independence Day, he happened to out and find a writer who, at the very least, knew somewhat what he was doing.
He and Devlin wrote that film and this one.
Well, yeah, I
Yes,
guess...
Libs, but it was only just one among 4 other people for the screenplay and 3 other for the actual. Well, okay, Roland Emmerich also was on the screenplay and the story, but okay, 3 other for the screenplay and 2 for the main writing of the story.
Yes, you're right.
Yes, you're right.
I've never seen the movie, but I refuse to believe a movie called Sharknado would be as uninteresting as what I'm watching right now.
Trust me, Shira. Sharknado is incredibly silly. It moves silly and revels in it. This,
Like even if it's technically a bad movie, I refuse to believe it's not at least entertaining.
Oh,
Sure. There's literally a point in the climax when one of the main characters literally takes a chainsaw and fucking cuts a shark in half with it. Like, trust me, that movie knows exactly what it is and revels in
Terraforming
it.
machine from Man of Steel.
Yeah.
I know Alice seemed to enjoy the movie because she just gave me the thumbs up from the other side of the room.
Yeah. Sure. Oh, trust me, Shiroi. When we cover the Sharknado series, you will know true ecstasy of joy at watching something so stupid.
I'm not even kidding you, Shiroi. Sorry.
So yeah, everyone's kind of getting raptured.
Yeah, I can see what Teo means. That the color palette look like it's plot Zack Snyder-ish there.
Yeah. And God, more of this blue filter, like...
Which is weird. Okay. Roland was never really... Okay, of all the problems Roland Emmerich had, he never had a problem with having his movies look natural, but, like, I guess he took the Zack Snyder pill. Like...
It's just baffling. Like I said, this is one of the worst sequels ever because it feels like Roland Emmerich isn't even... Well, okay, obviously he's not the same Roland Emmerich who made Independence Day, but... My God, it feels like he's almost going out of his way to make this the opposite.
It really is like the terraforming machine from Man of Steel.
I can put it this way: George Miller had an even longer gap between films. You know, Mad Max 3 and 4, 30 years compared to this one with 20, and yet that film was miles better, and it came out the year before.
Yeah, Fury Road felt like a proper evolution to the Mad Max series. This, despite it supposedly being all about the future, feels in many ways like a regression at best of the original.
Why would you ever want to rip off Man of Steel? Like, I just...
Okay, Jeremy, the other point to Will Smith we made earlier?
Yeah.
You know one person who feels that they should have just cancelled the
Oh wait, hold on, sorry Dwibs, London's getting wrecked.
Yeah, I
On the bridge
like every movie.
That happens all the time. But anyway, as I was
they're just going to build another one.
You know who felt they should have just cancelled the film as soon as Will Smith was out?
Who?
Roland Emmerich.
Wait, what?
Would you say that it was mostly executive mandated by Fox?
In hindsight, Emmerich was like, I had a much better script when Will was in the movie, but then when he dropped out, I guess he was pretty much like, I guess he felt he had to continue. But in hindsight, it was like, yeah, I probably should have just scrapped the whole thing and moved on.
I'm not gonna say that he self-sabotaged himself intentionally, but gosh, if he was in that kind of mindset, I would not be surprised if he kind of subconsciously sabotaged this movie because, look, I know Roland Emmerich definitely has a lot of problems, but I feel like even he could do better than this movie. Like, yeah, he has his dumb cliches, but at least 2012 felt like, it was something at least.
Damn.
I don't know, Joe, but that movie just looked like a fucking cartoon and not even a good one.
I know, it's just like, well, compared to this, though, I feel like even that one had a better idea of what it was doing. This movie feels aimless, and I mean that in the worst way possible.
Well, the weather did not call for this. I'm just trying to have my breakfast.
Here's the thing, Shiroi. I'm not even kidding you when I say this. That Sharknado has one of my all-time favorite lines in any movie ever, which is right at the beginning, actually, when he gives him some soup. And his evaluation is, after he takes a sip of the soup, he tells the guy, "It's good, not great." And the guy even makes a frowny face and everything.
Make your own soup.
It's like, and I've been quoting that line ever since I saw the movie for the first time. Like every time I say something like for example, I go see Steven Spielberg's BFG.
Oh
It's good.
no! Guys,
great.
he might die. A character from the
Yeah.
previous movie might die.
Get it? Because he's Jewish.
See,
Fuck me.
Basically, sure, it happens. It's the line that I like to use right now whenever people ask me something about a movie or a game or anything. And I like, it's good. Not great.
Well, crud. So she went from being a porn star. Sorry. She went from being a stripper to being a
dancer.
doctor. I see. That's nice.
And just like in the first movie, she helps saving someone else like that. Well, in
Sadly,
this case, it's a bit more justified.
sadly though, Boomer is not back because the dog
Okay,
probably
to be
got
fair,
old.
20 years, I'm pretty sure the poor fucker died.
But what's unfortunate?
Oh, please.
Yep, she's dead.
For fuck's
Hey,
sake.
so remember how she went for all that to survive in the original movie? Now she's dead because
They-
that's
They should have
Oh,
killed
okay,
her on
movie.
screen too.
because that's what we love to do, killing off original characters.
At least it was on screen. Okay. I should. Okay, before.
Oh wow, he dies too.
Wait,
Oh no, okay.
Okay.
Pedro makes his point real quick. I don't think they said in the movie again, it's for the freaking website. Basically, how this character was killed off. Apparently, he died in an accident testing the alien tech jet.
that's how Will Smith's character died in a
Yes,
test.
anyway, go on,
accident.
Pedro.
Writers are allowed to kill characters. I'm not saying we're not trying to say that writers are never allowed to kill a character ever or anything like that.
Of course.
The problem is that the problem is that the death of this character feels like it was just done just for the hell of it, and it doesn't feel like it's a meaningful death that actually benefits the story in any way. It
Just
just
for
feels like
shock value.
It feels like they literally brought her back just to die. Like, compare her role in the original movie, which, again, it was an ensemble piece, so that was showing her incredibly
Oh,
tough.
but
I did not
Fire
need to
gets to
see
leave,
that.
Yeah, like it's so nice that this character gets to leave when he was believed to be dead.
Yeah, like, and okay, there needs to be a good rhyme or reason. If you're really gonna bring back an old character for them to die, A, they need to at least do something substantial, and B, again, it needs to be earned. That wasn't. It just feels like we can have brownie points for Will Smith's son's character, Dylan, to basically be really sad and vengeful at the aliens.
Jim, there's something hilarious actually. This film also had a slightly troubled production.
Of course.
Okay. Basically, at one point, the production had to be shut down for a week. Guess what reason?
Let me guess. A certain
what's
actor
the
went
reason?
missing.
Celebrating the actual Independence Day.
Nope.
A certain actor went missing and they had to find them.
Nope.
I'm guessing Roland Emmerich was throwing a hissy fit or something. I don't know.
Okay.
John Frank arrived and sabotaged the movie.
Funny, but no.
So,
Well-
what was the reason?
The budget ran out.
Of course.
And Fox did nothing for 1 week.
Roland Emmerich, the experienced filmmaker, somehow managed to run out of budget before they finished filming, and basically the actors and the crew had to basically be on standby for a week until Fox gave them more funding.
Also,
Wow.
what is Bill Pullman doing?
How did that even happen?
Basically,
And there
Bill,
you go, the survivors of the first movie together at last.
I
basically,
wonder that.
Bill Pullman, the president, former president, is going
He's
to
gonna get possessed.
basically he locked himself in to try and communicate with the alien to figure out what's going on.
I think I get Pedro's point. No wonder Roland Emmerich doesn't get much work these days. But here's the thing,
Not just that, Debs. No wonder Fox sold their movie division.
Again, just like with the Predator, they really did not know what they were doing.
Yeah, well, that's the thing though. Roland Emmerich's next two movies, even though they were more independent, still had big budgets.
From what I recall, still not really astounding reception.
I haven't heard good things about Moonfall.
Also, this is the kind of sequel that loves to make parallel scenes to the ones of the first movie.
Pretty much.
Also, seriously. I mean, I guess it was true in sense of getting in from the back, but really, guy with machetes manages to outsmart an alien with a gun. Remember, as established in the first movie, the actual big body is like a containment suit.
Of course that. I was just moving on more the fact that, look at that, it's blue, of course.
Dabu-dee, dabu-da.
Seriously, there's too much blue in this movie.
At least they remembered.
So is Bill Pullman going to be in a coma for 20 years?
That would be dumb.
It's like a curse. Brent Spiner had it, but now Bill Pullman's got it. Well, yeah.
So I'm guessing no one from Danny Quaid's family survived. Oh god, that dog!
That dog has seen some stuff.
Okay,
Are
I
you?
think
That?
the subtitle. I think the subtitles flubbed up for me a bit there. It said the United States. I'm like, what?
Seriously, what's with that dog's stare?
And look at that, Julius survived. Somehow.
Is that his thing? Just surviving the seemingly impossible things because.
But yeah, I'm guessing the family of that lived in the van that was belonging to Randy Quaid in the first movie. They did not came back or something.
Wait, actually, aren't those the kids? Actually, if I recall correctly, those kids right there.
Know. Babe. Line? Can someone explain to me what's going on?
Terrible ass humor.
The aliens are back.
Okay, so
that specific scene, Brent Spiner says we should cut this open. Nobody answers. There's like a background intercom voice. Then Jack Goldblum and the other girl just leaves, and then the scene has a humor moment. What the fuck?
Hey, Dwebs, since you're on the behind the scenes info, did Aaron Kruger suddenly come in and ghostwrite that scene? What the fuck was that?
Believe it or not, no, Aaron Kruger does not have any writing credit.
Seriously, though, it's like I said, this movie Actually, no, this movie all the time doesn't know what it's doing. It's just a mess.
Well, apparently, because Will Smith left, Emmerich had to basically cobble another script together.
Why are they firing in the ocean?
Wait.
So what you're telling me, Libs, is that this is the Transformers Revenge of the Fallen of the Independence Day franchise? Kind of.
I'm guessing they at least finished the script before they started filming. Okay, they finished the script, but they didn't have the budget, apparently.
Hey, Dribs, how much you want to bet they were still writing the script around the time that the movie went on pause? Because it literally ran out of money. Like, okay, look, and you know what? I'm not going to say that movies running out of money mid-development is... Look, it's nothing new. However, when it does happen, the only way you don't come out of it a laughing stock is if A, the movie is good, and B, you use it well. And I am sorry, but I am not feeling the effects of this movie. Okay, to be fair, a lot of the CGI is fine, but it falls into that pit trap with a lot of CGI in that it overdoes it. Like, compare this to the original Independence Day. Yes, that one definitely had some larger-than-life effects here and there, but it also had some good practical effects to help balance stuff out as well. I'd say stuff that was done in the late 80s to pretty much the 90s overall definitely showcases that there is a lot of value to balancing out computer graphics with practical effects.
Oh, Michael Bay, for all his flaws, and if there's one thing that has always been constant with him as a director, I mean, he's still a big champion of practical effects.
Exactly.
It doesn't look. I mean, it doesn't look like it half the time, but yeah.
Yeah, like
that's the thing. It's like you said, like it's cool that he is. I just wish he would show more in his movies, you know.
I couldn't save her. I was too late. Yes, we're doing this usual thing about I was there. I couldn't save her. I failed her.
Well, so yeah, it kind of is. Well, actually, no, we're not even in the climax, even still.
Anyway, go on with what you were saying.
To add what Joe was saying, look at The One in the Seven Warps. That movie, like we saw in the behind-the-scenes documentary that we saw when we did the commentary, that movie ran out of money at some point, budget-wise. So Walt had to literally show the movie to the Bank of America to see if they would finance the rest of it. And the banker really liked what he saw, and they passed him the check. So it's not like... So yeah, like Joe was saying, like, trouble sometimes happens. It just depends on whether or not you have people who know what they're doing and can turn things around.
The reason that this one really deserves a lot of mention is because that it is essentially at this point the cherry on the crap cake. Because seriously, almost everything that could have gone wrong seems to have gone wrong with this film's development. We have a director acting egoish and petty. He at first regretted not having Will Smith on board, but then later chose to have him die off screen, not even properly explained in the film. Like, it really does make you wonder what was happening. And yes, okay, I should probably talk about his son Dylan, except there's not really much to say about Dylan. Like, Dylan's a bit abrasive, a bit of a hothead to Liam Hemsworth's character, and now he's mad and angry because his mother is dead, and yeah, that's it. Whereas Will Smith in the original movie, yeah, I know his character had a name, but more convenient to call him Will Smith. Like, Will Smith in the original Independence Day movie was incredibly charismatic. A fleshed out enough character for the kind of movie he was in, and he had more depth and layers to him. And also the fact that, let's be honest, this movie does not work as well as an ensemble piece here. Like, in the original Independence Day, it felt like overall our characters were getting equal focus. In this movie, though, it definitely feels like some are getting more attention than others.
Also, well, technically, Dylan's not really, Dylan isn't, the son of Will Smith's character, he's his stepson.
Well, you know, he's the kid from the original movie. So yeah, guys, we're off to do our triumphant run.
Yeah, halfway through the movie, I'm sure it's gonna work. Just like in the first one.
Like, no one was even really...
I'm with young John Oliver on this one. That's not a katana, it's a machete.
Holy cow, that line was incredibly dumb. And I get that maybe that was the point, but I'm sorry. Halfway in this movie just has burnt so much goodwill.
Yeah.
Getting plastered. They probably... Yeah, you know what? I'm still in time. Give me a second.
Oh boy.
Is this the shot when the budget ran out?
And they were all basically thinking, yeah, this movie is doomed. Might as well drink it away. And that's, you know what? I'm not too surprised that Roland Emmerich didn't really get a lot of big work after this, because he essentially blew a lot of money, and for a project that did not see quite an impeccable return on it either.
Yeah, his next two films were big budget, but were more independent, like Midway and Moonfall.
Yeah, if I recall correctly, I think these are the kids who are Randy Quaid's family, I think.
Honestly, with the amount of things this film forgot from the first movie, I'm surprised he remembered that Randy Quaid's character is dead.
Let me just... yeah.
Oh, yeah, this also really, really scattered.
Okay, maybe they're not the same kids from the previous Independence Day film, but I think that may just be a good show of just how they really do not get the, well, the significance of the characters at all. Because seriously, those kids just feel interchangeable, honestly, at this point. Yep, the aliens are just letting them fly up to the ship like that. No defense systems whatsoever.
Maybe they don't need them.
Oh my god, Roland Emmerich actually managed to rope in John Williams on one of his projects.
Yeah.
What the heck?
Yeah, even they're asking, why aren't they attacking us?
Oh, this is boring.
Ah, get it? Guys, he pointed out that they jinxed them.
It is pretty boring, isn't it?
And that's a...
Alright, so I have alcohol now.
Oh, Tio,
What did I miss?
you just missed
So what drinking game are you playing today, too?
What? I'm drinking this no matter what one.
Okay,
Why
so
are we only halfway through this?
I know, right?
Basically,
The
Tio...
pacing is bad.
Basically,
This
Tio,
movie
you
is
missed...
2 hours long. It feels like 3.
Yes, brother.
Basically, Tio, you missed a lampshading line. Essentially, some guy pointed out, why aren't they firing us? Then they started showing out their giant guns, and basically another guy said, oh, you just had to jinx us, because, get it? He pointed out a problem, and that means he jinxed them.
The movie passes for humor.
Hey, Dibs.
Oops.
Oh, okay. Oh, there's it's like with Battlefield Earth. That movie's not even 2 hours. Can you believe that? Like, basically, Shiro, to give you an idea, Battlefield Earth is not even 2 hours in length. That movie feels like 3 hours long. I shit you not.
And yet,
I feel like this already, like, we haven't even got to the climax yet, and I already know this shouldn't be 2 hours.
it really shouldn't, but it is, and like, that's the thing.
Technically, none of Roland Emmerich's films have enough plot to fill even 2 hours. That they could have easily been 90 minutes. It's more so about how you can provide spectacle to at the very least entertain in the absence of plot. And this movie doesn't really have that.
No,
Let me
it
guess,
doesn't.
The best friend died.
No, not yet.
When you get around to it, literally every single Roland Emmerich film could just be 90 minutes if you're just going off based on what the plot
I
demands.
forgot. How long is Godzilla 1998? Let me check.
2 hours at least. I'm pretty confident none of his movies are standard 90-minute length. I'm pretty sure they're all at the very least 2 hours.
I think 2012 is like...
Godzilla 1998, it's 2 hours and 20 minutes almost.
Oh,
Damn.
God. Ugh.
so-
Stargate. Stargate is 2 hours rounded.
So, guys, just like in the previous film, we go inside the command center to blow it up from the inside. But again, the aliens apparently did not follow them in.
And this is the halfway point, so we know it's not gonna work.
I guess
Also,
I guess you could say this is Roland Emmerich trying to be clever, saying, haha, you thought I'd do the same thing again, but no.
Whoa. Also, the Patriot... Sorry, go on.
She knows that they're coming. Who's she, though?
The Queen, they mentioned her before. The Patriot is almost 3 hours. Jesus. Let me check.
Oh
The
no!
day after tomorrow is 2 hours. 10,000 BC. 10,000 BC is 109 minutes, so slightly less than normal. I
Huh.
still have to see that movie.
That's the shortest film, definitely. I've never seen that one either.
2012 is almost 160 minutes. Jesus Christ.
Oh, God.
White House Down is 2 hours and 10 minutes. Then there's this one. Midway is 2 hours.
Excitement and...
And Moonfall, which got released this year, is 2 hours
Oh,
and 10
boy.
minutes.
You see what I mean, Jova? It's tiring. It's so
I mean,
tiring
yes,
watching these movies.
It's the only way.
Go on.
Like, again, Independence Day was a long movie as well, but again, Independence Day knew how to keep people's attention well.
That's because
Oh
that
my
movie...
god, that's the way you kill the best friend.
That movie had two enjoyable protagonists that were at the very least
Wait,
fun
what?
to...
Oh?
Is this the movie's modus operandi? Kill characters in very anticlimactic way and make you feel like it was for nothing?
Yep. I don't know if that was intentional, but that is certainly the sentiment that is had with this movie.
I could make a reference with a movie did this so much better, but I don't want to turn this into a shitstorm.
Oh.
It's an EMP, I guess. Oh no, a shield. Oh yeah, it is an EMP. I guess it's the alien coming up kind of anonymous. People on Earth, I have to play a game with you. Uh-oh.
And now it's time to go on the counterattack.
Does Area 51 have any escape pods, potentially?
It's not a spaceship.
Oh, escape things or something. Really? I get it, it's what the alien said in the first movie.
You remember the first movie, don't you? Roland Emmerich, Member Berries edition.
Except these are very sour member berries.
Like, I'm sorry, like I said, this feels like the opposite of Independence Day, whereas Independence Day was able to keep people's attention for a long span of time by having at least a good enough narrative and switching scenes in a way that felt clever. This just feels like, again, it doesn't know what it's doing.
No, okay, I don't think it's that, Joe. I wanted to save it for my final thoughts, but I think it's very worth mentioning now. This movie takes itself way too damn seriously.
That too, yeah. Like again,
first, okay, there is some comedy in it, definitely, but it varies, spruce in between, and you can tell the situation is much more dramatic. While the first movie, like I said, the reason why it manages to be, like in my country is because we cannot take it seriously because it's too goofy, but he enjoys kind of being like that.
So yeah, now William Faulkner's character is effectively in charge, given that the president has been killed. Honestly, though, Teo raises a very good point, though, and this movie takes itself way too seriously. Now, yes, there were serious moments in the original Independence Day, but the original...
Well, the situation was dramatic in the first movie still.
However... it was not afraid to go over the top in the sense of things here and there. Like, let's not forget, that movie has a literal cigar-chomping Will Smith punching out an alien and giving a one-liner.
Yeah.
This
We
movie...
don't get it. We don't get this.
Yeah, this movie just really wants you to take it seriously, and it's like... There's no levity whatsoever.
Ironically enough, it tries to be it really tries to be like one of the late, around the movie like 2012 or The Day After Tomorrow, but are much more dramatic.
Hey, Roland Emmerich, people didn't like 2012. What made you think they were gonna like you trying to?
Let me put it this in the simplest way possible. For how bad of a movie it is, I can still have fun with Godzilla 1998. And I know it's not just that's out of fish line. Even in general, stuff like Jean Reno to fake an American accent, that kind of stuff, it's a bit of a charm that allows me to have this going. This is like if everyone collectively removed their dopamine receptors.
It's so joyless. And again, this is one of the this really goes back to why I feel like this is one of the worst sequels.
The last movie.
Yeah.
See, here's the thing. See, it's combined with the Bois. I get the feeling Roland Emmerich really wants to do something like a Christopher Nolan film, but he doesn't understand that because let's use Tenet. Tenet has barely, if any at all, humor in it, but Tenet makes up for that by providing an incredibly unique and interesting concept and making it a really high thrilling heist type movie, right?
And again, here's also the really big problem. The reason that it stands out even more here is that again, we have the original to compare it to. Hey, by the way, rule number 1 of making a sequel: if your sequel's bad, don't constantly put in references that remind me of the superior original. This one does that, so I gotta compare it to the original. The original was fun. Like, again, people who liked, loved, or hated it could come together to agree that it was just overall a good, fun popcorn flick. You didn't need to think that hard about it, but you could draw a lot from it if you wanted to. This movie, on the other hand, for as much as it loves to talk and talk and talk, it says so little. It accomplishes very little. It does little.
It's like a Zack Snyder movie. Like there's just like.
So speaking of,
it's a ball.
So I mentioned earlier about budget.
Hello.
You're on TV. Alien primetime material.
And we get to see the first piece of human is Brent Spiner. I'm so sorry.
Well, that was anyway. The film cost $100.
It cost what now?
It cost $165 million, and it made $389.7 million.
Look, Tio, he's alive, actually.
Survived. Incredible.
Yes, literally by the strap.
Whoa.
Hang on. So let me look at what was this film competing against?
Let me check.
Sorry, I've got it.
No, in terms of release date, this was late June 2016.
Okay, it came out the same day as The Shallows, Free State of Jones, and The Neon Demon. And the week before, it was against films like Finding Dory and Central Intelligence.
Yeah, I'm sorry. In terms of competition, this should have been fine in terms of sales.
Yeah, like, I'm sorry. A lot of those movies I have never even heard of. And while Finding Dory did eventually become a factor, it was a factor way later, so... Yeah, no, this movie failing, that's definitely more on it.
It probably also has to do with the fact that it's been 20 years by this point. Like, see, here's the thing. Okay, let me put it this way. When Independence Day came out, it came out at a time where the disaster movie was at the apex of its popularity, right? The movie landscape has changed tremendously in the last 20 years, Roland. Like, what worked back in the 90s will not work for you again. People don't really care about this kind of this movie anymore. Not really. Usually, when it comes to popcorn movies, people prefer something more akin to the MCU. You know, something that is fun and action-packed, yes, but also has character and plot to it.
I guess it is the Queen.
Yep.
I don't even need just Mad Max Fury Road. You know another film that took even longer to come out and did really well?
Top Gun Maverick recently.
Top Gun Maverick, it broke $1 billion.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, she's a big one.
For you.
That's a big one. Well, yep, that's a big one.
Also, Dweebs, how could you
Yeah.
forget the other, okay, to be fair, 3 major movies that were released before this one around the same time? The Conjuring 2, Now You See Me 2, and the clearly superior movie Warcraft.
Hey, you know what? I'm gonna go on. I'm gonna get you on that one. For as bad as that movie is, I still get more entertaining out of Now You See Me Too, because this movie is just.
Yeah.
There is one movie that I will say is more negative than this one, believe it or not. I still have more enjoyment from this than Warcraft, because at least this film has, Jeff Goldblum in it, and he automatically makes almost anything better. What did Warcraft have?
I haven't seen Warcraft, so I can't judge properly. So I guess I'll have to wait and see.
Alright, so I guess this ball, which is a recurring symbol that the alien seems to be hating, is a species that digitize themselves.
So yeah, you know that thing that they blew up in the first bit? Yeah, that was actually there to try and help and evacuate them, but because they shot at it first...
I'm the government, I'm the reason nothing works.
It's like I said at the start of the movie, shoot first, ask questions later.
So we are literally dealing...
Happy 4th of July, everyone.
This is one of the most idiotic idiot plots ever. Because they couldn't commune with the people who were trying to help them, they have doomed the human race effectively.
To be fair, even so, the plan for this species was to evacuate them rather than helping them defend the Earth.
Which, I guess that's very nice of them, but yeah, that's weird in and of itself.
Also, I swear I saw this actress somewhere else. Now that I see her from his angle, sorry.
So basically, now that this mechanism is detected, the Queen has detected her presence, and now she's on her
Charlotte
way.
Gainsbourg.
From his ankle. Tarantino was a director.
No. Let me see. Charlotte Gainsbourg. There you go. I found her.
But see, she said nobody's ever killed a Harvester Queen.
Right. She's a recurring for Last One Trier. She was in both Melancholia and Nymphomaniac. And the Antichrist.
I do believe that would be a good bout of revenge.
That's the thing, yeah. Goldblum doesn't even stutter, doesn't use anymore the chess metaphor. Might as well be a different character.
I mean, to be fair, the stuttering, that wasn't really his character's thing in Independence Day.
He had a bit of a stutter, but yeah, although, again, you have to wonder if part of it was them intentionally toning that down to make it more serious, because...
Yeah, Brent Spiner's character still acts the way he did.
Yeah, it's like they wanted him to be the sole source of any comic relief, and it's just... Were they trying to make up for the fact that he...
Which is criminal, considering Brent Spiner, alone managed to make something like Geppetto actually bearable.
I know, right?
It's project depending. They tried to do that in Star Trek Generations, and that didn't work.
Wait.
Address,
I thought people liked when Data went crazy.
It depends. That's a bit polarizing, admittedly. Yes, Pedro?
Okay, to address the serious, the completely serious tone that Joe was talking about, here's the thing, again, to use another movie, 2016, right? Liz, remind me, when did the Dunkirk come out? Wasn't this year? 2016?
I think it was, yeah.
27. Well, it was around the same time still. Like, Dunkirk has zero humor in it. But considering the subject matter and the story that it's telling, it's of course perfectly appropriate. It wouldn't really make any sense during in the middle of the fucking Dunkirk, actual real event for characters to suddenly start cracking jokes.
I don't bet it has any dialogue in it.
Yeah, for the most part, it's kind of it kind of works as a silent film,
Oh God, this
so if you have the style and the plot to justify, you can have a movie with nothing but serious tone in it. The problem is that this movie doesn't have the plot to really back up that tone. Not really. It's just shit. It's a completely self-serious piece of crap, just like Batman v Superman, just talks and talks.
Which came out this same year of this movie.
We have you like to bring up Italian expressions. Allow me to bring up a Portuguese expression, because over here, when it comes to movies like these, we have an expression for this. The guy talks, but it doesn't actually say anything. That's basically what we usually say when it comes to these situations. He talks, but he's not saying anything.
So these are the only pilots left.
And I'm guessing Bill Pullman is getting a shave to be a pilot of this one. There we go.
So one shave later, and now he's, I guess, acting complete sane. Yeah, let's never mind the fact that this guy has had clear mental issues throughout the film. No, now he's A-okay to be a volunteer pilot, instead of his daughter, who is also a pilot fighter herself.
It's about being an American hero and something.
And that would be fine. And that would be fine, Shiro, if the movie was campy and fun about it, but it's not.
And look, I cannot stress enough, the fact that this is a sequel to the original Independence Day movie, which had the camp in the tonnage, just makes it all the more jarring. This is like if you tried to make a sequel to the SpongeBob movie. What?
What the fuck? They went to a completely different movie?
No, remember, this side arc about Julius is still happening. Hey, Julius, you want to actually do something for the movie? Again...
There was a side arc?
Yes.
Apparently.
There's been this side arc with Julius going on.
You know what? Again, I know that, most Americans love to prefer to chastise it, but even with its own side arc, Mars Attacks is a much, much more enjoyable movie than both these, and again, I still argue more than the first Independence movie, but for the purpose of comparing just this alone.
And get this, these kids' bus driver apparently left them to have sex with his girlfriend in Minnesota, apparently. Yeah. That's a thing.
Yeah.
Someone's getting fired.
Seriously though, what is up with this plot arc? What is up with this plot arc of Julius's? Yes, it's nice that he's back and he survived, but he's the only character who's working his way to the others. Again, in the original movie, it was about the characters slowly but surely all coming together at the same time overall. But
it's the end of the world. Who's gonna fire who?
At this point, it should be just like in that. They should take this as the Portuguese movie that we saw. Shave the whale, fuck the planet. At this point, it's just like.
Basically, the world's in this pretty much we're gonna die mentality.
Yeah, basically.
So let's fuck shit up.
Oh, guys, look, look, guys, the lawyer, the John Elliott guy is now...
Teenage John Oliver has a gun now.
In fact, Shiro, you just brought up the whole American hero thing, Jova.
Yeah.
When Trey Parker and Matt Stone made Team America, they said that they basically wanted to make a Jerry Bruckheimer...
God, it's you.
Go on.
Basically, Jova, Trace and Matt said that they wanted to make what was basically a Jerry Bruckheimer film with puppets because, as Trey said, he basically makes comedies. He just doesn't realize it because he's an idiot. That's basically what it feels a lot like this as well. Team America kind of works as just making a Roland Emmerich film in the sense that, he makes comedies. He just doesn't realize it because he's an idiot.
Honestly, yeah, and this movie feels like him rebelling against that idea. He wants to be taken so darn seriously. Let me put it like this.
His next movie was a historical war action movie.
Now that's more fair. However, let me put it like this. This feels like if you made a sequel to, say, the Adam West Batman movie as The Dark Knight, in just how much more serious this is than the original Independence Day film.
Okay, I wouldn't argue it's that much of a jump, but yeah, I see the principle. I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, that's an even bigger leap than the one we have here. To be fair, it's not. It's still a leap. Don't get me wrong.
What
It's
about
just that
this?
I don't.
My point is that it feels about as jarring in that sense because, well, okay, maybe it's not as big a gap, but it is definitely a point that this movie really tries to play things more serious than the original Independence Day film, and it does
Really?
not work. And you want to know what's sad? Oh, get it? He tried to punch the alien, but it didn't work.
That's not funny.
Get it? Because
Well, I
with
mean-
Will Smith's character, he was able to punch it just fine, but
Are you saying
not
that
this time.
white people can't punch?
I guess it's the idea that guy's not as much a badass as Will Smith was. Like, you know what's sad, honestly? The best comedy from this movie is the unintentional ones. I mean, there's like...
Well, let me guess, it must go faster.
I mean, again, I think that's Jeff Goldblum at least. Yeah, but that scream he did. Ah!
Again, part of me is wondering how much of that was intentional and how much was that Jeff Goldblum just being Jeff Goldblum.
They can both be true.
No, we're not.
Yeah. Well, let's just hope you don't die as a result.
Actually, can they? So the movie will end.
Sorry, Shiri.
Maybe you could have a
Oh
moment.
my god, they're getting the cliche lines out like it's a machine gun rapid fire.
Yeah. Well,
Wait,
remember the
if
drama
we
in
don't
these
make it
movies
out
is-
of here...
Well, remember, Joe, but the character drama, the character moment in these movies usually come off as soap opera stuff. So I can't. It's too painful.
Stay on target.
What's it close?
Stay on target.
What's it up?
Hey, what just happened?
They apparently made it out.
What? Wait, who died?
Jake and Rain. Wait.
Who?
Exactly.
Ah! No,
Fuck
sorry,
off.
fooled you! That was a dick move.
I thought he was going to say that and then immediately gets blown up. Did you miss me? Ah!
Just like in the first movie.
It
Again.
was your last man 20 years ago.
Again, just like last time.
Oh,
Oh yeah, so yeah, I'm pretty sure that'll be effective. Change your wallpaper on Facebook to say we stand with planet Earth.
Fucking brilliant.
this
guys.
is a sad thing, Waves. If something like that happened IRL, that's what probably would happen. Because we're just that fucked up.
Everyone's banners are just going to be pictures of the Earth.
Yep,
I love she's not even listening.
he got into a jet again. Hey,
Maybe,
get it? Just like in the first movie.
I guess maybe Bill Pullman was like, okay, fine, but if I have to be in this, can I at least buy something again?
Might as well let him do something, because like I
Why
mentioned,
did
he's
he
been...
got the carrier ship still having the thing in their its arms? Okay.
I mean, the son doesn't have any retorts, so the kid doesn't have any retorts, so yeah. Oh.
What, you didn't want to say 10 seconds until first contact?
That's Star Trek. That's Star Trek thing.
I mean, hey, we got Brent Spiner in, why not? God, it feels so fake when I look at it.
And
Oh, for a second, I thought he'd destroy one of their own ships.
no.
Huh.
You moron! You killed my friend.
Okay.
Honestly, in terms of below average films William Fickner's been in, I'm gonna be honest. I think the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles film from 2 years earlier was better.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, granted, yeah, he didn't turn out to be the Shredder because of all the reshoots, but still.
What are the flipping chances? His dad just happens to be in the right area to meet up with him.
I'm not the president anymore.
Force of habit.
I guess.
Aren't
Also-
you kind of the president for
Also,
now?
this music is trying way too hard to be like Castlevania Lords of Shadow. Really, it's the same maneuver but in the first movie.
It really
Only that
is.
this time it doesn't die.
I mean, if it works, then
Yeah, why not do it? I mean, it makes sense in the logic of this universe for once.
Yeah, actually,
Well, it
no,
worked,
he did. Yeah, except one problem.
He dies.
Yep.
I expected "fuck you" to be his line over 4th of
I would
July.
say that at least his death is a bit more earned.
I guess. I guess Pullman didn't want to do any more of these. If there are any more of these.
It could have been worse on this one at the very least. Ladies and gentlemen, we got her.
But the president, not president, is dead.
Yes,
And the
that is
cannon is
very
out.
sad.
Oh, please tell me that the teenage John Oliver dies.
I guess they learned from the last movie that having a hive mind controlling all the aliens is a bit dumb.
That wasn't the queen. The sphere is actually the queen. I mean, guess that's a twist.
Was the sphere tricking them? Yeah, I was going to say, the movie is kind of all over the place. It just bounces from
Here
one
we
thing
go.
to the other.
So yeah, despite Pullman's sacrifice, it turns out the invasion is still a go.
The queen is still alive.
Yes.
Oh my god, I want this thing.
In fact, she doesn't even have a scratch on her armor.
Oh no, not the dog.
Oh my god, this
What
is the
about Ginger?
Jova.
Yes.
I'm gonna call it right now. This is the worst 4th of July ever.
Yes.
Seriously.
Well, they didn't kill the dog. There's that.
Ginger,
Well,
will leave.
I guess kudos for small favors, but
Like, Ginger's like a cat name, not a dog name.
Especially because that dog had... Okay, I'm not asking you to see again the movie, sure, don't worry, but that dog had some stairs.
So
excuse me, I will name my dog whatever the hell I want.
So
Also,
You have a dog named Ginger, don't you?
If you forgot, Sherry,
No,
that's
I
something that happened in the first movie with a dog called Boomer. So if anything, the movie, for the standards of its predecessor, the movie is just doing the bare minimum.
So here's one thing we have to wonder. Bill Pullman's death. Now, it technically accomplished Jack's squat. Sure, it crashed the mothership, but the alien queen is still alive, no worse for wear, so... Was his death worth it, narrative-wise?
Well, in the end, no, technically.
I'm gonna go with that would be
Unless it was crucial to have the queen outside of a spacecraft in order to kill her properly, I guess, on the long run.
It's like, look, if you're gonna do that kind of character death, and I get it, maybe it's to show just how tough she is, like how they did with Perfect Cell, but... Nah, I just don't really feel it. That's right, she's getting outrun by a goddamn school bus.
It being outrun by a bus driven by Jeff Goldblum.
I don't know what's worse, fucking school bus outrunning this fucking queen alien, or someone in high heels outrunning a T-Rex.
I mean, at least in Jurassic World, that was a much shorter distance. It's more like the T-Rex was going after the flare as opposed to the girl. Here,
It's still very stupid.
I will say
wait,
this is
this bit?
stupider.
Also, she makes eye contact with the queen to show that, yeah, it's personal.
Ugh.
You killed my dad. Actually, the way you kind of didn't.
Technically, my dad killed himself trying to kill you.
Oh, she's pissed, I guess. But yeah, honestly, I kind of reiterate what I said at the beginning. To be honest, Jova, for all its faults and everything, between technology and the set pieces, and even this fight with the Queen at the end, yeah, this is pretty more Kingdom Hearts than the first movie.
Well, I guess I can sort of see what you mean. And like, well, the first movie, well, that was when the aliens
were...
were...
material to work with, to be honest.
Oh, I'd say that it does have some material to work with, but in terms of being a spectacular world, it's more so this case here because, well...
This even has boss fights served on a silver platter.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Actually, yeah. In fact, do that. That would help redeem things. Have an Independence Day world in Kingdom Hearts 4.
And as much as I really don't like some things about the franchise, as just like you said with the Bell Cauldron, I'm all for Kingdom Hearts taking a bad story and actually improving upon that.
I really want to play that series from the beginning again.
I will argue that the second visit to Agrabah in Kingdom Hearts 2 was a better take on the Return of Jafar storyline.
Yeah.
There were no musical sequences with Gilbert Gottfried, though.
Well, we can't have everything too.
Oh wait, this bit.
You're saying that like it's a bad thing.
You know what's interesting? No. You know what's interesting? Speaking of that, like
I
know there's stuff.
I love this. The Queen literally had Patricia in her sights, but then she goes, "Oh wait, right, that other thing I'm after. Never mind. I'm not even gonna bother squashing her, even though she literally had her." Like.
Priority.
Well, she also left the school bus alone when she had no reason to do that either.
Well, to be fair, when it came to the school bus, she was pissed at Patricia for breaking through to her armor, so that at least made some sense. But here, and I get it, she has priorities, but all it literally would have taken was a few seconds to crush Patricia, so it feels like a plot contrivance more than anything else.
Jeff, what are you doing?
Treating a school bus like a race car.
The interesting
Jeff is
thing-
gonna do a flip.
Oh my god. Yes.
Seriously, the teenage John Oliver is the one saving the day. Let me just. Oh, so sweet.
What's your poison this time?
The one where I let steel mint flavor the vodka.
Oh, goody.
Shiro, no, actually, my dog was named Nina.
Oh, but guys,
No, but if you got, I knew that. So if you got like a new dog named
unfortunately
Ginger.
now, guys, Brent Spiner's friend is going to die.
I guess okay.
Were they a couple or something? Like,
I hope not, because Brent Spiner's been in a coma for 20 plus years, so this wasn't really reciprocated until he woke up.
And they have all these pet names for each other, like, baby, we're gonna make it. And...
like an Armageddon.
This feels tacked on. And I know that Roland Emmerich means well when it comes to these kind of thematics. And it probably happened just because, countries like China and Russia and so on probably wouldn't accept it or something, but...
They were bros till the end, guys.
Cousins, yes.
Cousins.
It's interesting. Like, I still don't give a rat's ass about what's going on. Speaking of Gilbert Dwebbs, have you seen? Do you know anything about the 2012 TMNT series?
All I know about it is the cast. And that version of April has a crush on one of the turtles, which ew. But go on, Pedro.
I love this. He's supposed to be angry, but he looks like he's smiling during all that.
Yeah.
Go on, Pedro.
Because Deji recently showed me their own crossover with the 80s Turtles, which is better than Turtles Forever, I will say. And I discovered via that Gilbert Gottfried plays Krang in that series, which is one of the most phenomenal casting decisions I've ever heard.
Wait, hold on. Hold on. Who were they crossing over with?
The 80s Turtles.
No. I mean, who were the 80s Turtles crossing over with?
2012.
The 2012 show.
Oh, that.
Which is
I discovered that Gilbert Gottfried plays Krang in the 2012 series, which is one of the best casting decisions I've ever heard.
What the fuck?
Which is interesting, Pedro, because I remember Deji didn't like. I read Deji's Twitter saying he didn't like that one that much.
Basically,
Yeah.
What's this? Yes, very good, Liam Hemsworth. Now make it look like you're constipated while flying.
I think you gave me a bad stash.
This is why the peak of your career are the Hunger Games movies.
Wow.
Sorry, that was almost literally a line that was used in Emmerich's next movie.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah.
Really?
Someone gave me a bad stash, because basically a plot point in that movie was that, the oxygen that you have to breathe when you're in a fighter jet?
Yes.
Yeah.
A plot point is that his character near the end of the movie got a bad mix of it, and that caused him to have to retire from air flying afterwards.
Oh no!
Got the spear.
Shiroi, you're gonna hate me for saying this, but I can at the very least appreciate Breaking Dawn Part 1 for being a spectacular failure. This is just This is just boring.
And like I mentioned, it's
Because-
I can't
I mean-
remember what I felt about that one. Was that the one with the terrible baby plot?
yes.
Yes.
Okay, hate that movie. Hate it. Yep.
Oh sure,
Yeah,
I hate it.
okay,
Oh sure,
okay.
I don't. I
I
don't like that
understand
movie
what
either.
you mean by the corniness of it, because yes, it is absolutely corny. But
But okay, I'm sorry, but there is no way in hell you're going to convince me that this movie is worse than one where
No.
a guy in his mid-20s is imprinting on a toddler.
Like I said, this movie is the antithesis of the original Independence Day movie. It's not fun, it's way too serious, it has too much of a blue filter, it doesn't feel as nice and varied with the cast.
it didn't need to exist.
It's
Can the
way
queen
too
just die
long.
already?
Now don't you see, she ain't gonna go down without a fight.
Of course, the engine doesn't start.
I guess 26. I
No,
guess.
it does.
Oh,
Just
and
in
of course,
time, though.
and of course, applying the logic of the Prometheus school of running away from things.
I mean, to be fair, as a giant boss.
I think it could still veer to the right.
Alright.
What in reverse?
No.
Skybeam!
Yeah, that was established from the beginning. They were drilling through the ocean.
Yeah, we're alive. But what's most important is that we've got a lot of money.
Right, you guys had a subplot, apparently.
Lots of money. They were to monitor the drilling.
Did we really get her, though? Yes,
I wish
we
I was
did.
watching Starship Troopers now.
I'm sorry, I got mixed up. I thought the plot. It's been a while since I've seen this. So it was the first time I've seen it since I saw it in the cinema, actually. I thought the plot twist was going to be that was a decoy and the real
this
thing
bit.
was somewhere else. But no, it's the.
I mean, guess it's the love interest. Yeah. You son of a bitch.
I thought you were dead!
I should have just shot you anyway.
Yeah, and I nearly was dead because when you shot at me.
Look, it's been a very rough day for me. My dad died.
How do you think I feel?
You
Also,
weren't
dude, you kind of third wheeling.
Yeah, no kidding. You weren't kidding. But Will Smith's son really didn't matter into the whole grand scheme of things.
Look
Yeah.
away, dude. And you.
At
What?
least the best friend did not die.
Maybe we should try
Yeah.
the... That pickup line actually worked. God damn it.
This movie is terrible.
His
Yeah.
soy face reaction though was not very great.
I'm not the president.
Oh, no.
I guess he is now.
No. He actually is. He got sworn in after the last president died. And I don't mean like Bill Pullman, I mean like Madam President.
So I guess that Jeff Goldblum's character's wife died off screen as well, and this is a new love interest for him. Did I forgot that he married at the climax of the first movie?
So let's see what the spear has to say.
Oh, is the spear gonna spirit away Brent Spiner?
That's how he ends up in Star Trek, I guess.
That's his origin story.
Actually, what I mean to say is it's remarkable that you've survived this long.
Yay, he has the heart of a warrior. His arc is complete, I guess.
And of course, we need a celebration all over the world. Really, and without the queen, we'd really just leave.
I get the feeling that's a convenient... It is very convenient that, it just leaves without the queen instead of, collapsing on top of everything.
Yeah, let me just toast.
Alright, I'm out. Peace, yo.
See you in 20 more years, I guess.
Oh, God.
Let me guess, sequel baiting.
Yep.
Wow.
And it turned out you would not. Like, oh my God.
Very poor sequel hook.
Oh my God, you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of that god-awful sequel hook at the end of The Predator. Which also implies that they're going to take the fight to the alien race.
Alright, I guess there is a post-credit scene, Jova, just to ask.
I think there is. Although, yeah, I think, let me just double check.
I'll check.
I hope not.
No, there isn't, no.
Thank God.
Brent Spiner, Jeff Goldblum, and the others will not be invited to the Fan Force Stick initiative.
It's for the best, honestly.
Well, that one very good. Okay, I'll start off with the positives. Jeff Goldblum. Some of the visual effect. And I gotta say, I don't think the beginning was all that bad, to be honest. It was... I mean, yeah, it was kind of mostly just a lot of setup, but the first one was like that too. So I'm not going to hold that much against this movie. Unfortunately, there's also the bad. The musical score isn't anywhere near as good as what David Arnold did 20 years before. Some of the... Okay, aside from Jeff Goldblum's character, none of the other characters are really all that interesting, even the returning ones. I could barely tell you what the story was. Aliens come back and shoot things, so we shoot back, and then they retreat. Only for us to get a sequel hook that maybe that we get to take the fight to them later on, but so far, there doesn't seem to be any sign that that's happening. And also, again, yeah, I get older characters from previous installments coming back into a sequel to die. But I think the most egregious one of that was Vivica A. Fox's character. Like, I mean, yeah, she goes out doing something heroic, saving someone's life. But, well, let's say, but I mean, at least it doesn't get brushed off or anything. But still, I think the manner in which it happened was still just weird. And the worst part was, unfortunately, some of the acting. Now, I'm not going to say that, or any Roland Emmerich movie, but especially the first Independence Day, I'm not going to say they were like, they had like huge masterclasses of acting in those. But some of the acting here is very good, especially, like I said, from Chris Hemsworth and Angela Baby. Anything else?
There's a lot, actually. The blue filter, the hokey acting, the overall idiot plot, the plot contrivances.
I mean, that's the thing, Joe, but I would talk about those if there were any. If there wasn't much of a plot to contrive or to or to think. This one, it's like I said, this one barely even has a plot. It's just shooty bang bang.
Spread out over 2 hours, and yet, you know, unlike something like The Expendables, shooty bang bang does not equal something genius.
Nope.
And also, with brilliant decision making such as this, and the budget issues that they were having, I just can't fathom why Fox ended up not existing as themselves within 3 years after this. I just don't know why.
It's an entire mystery, of course.
It's quite the puzzle.
So I gotta wonder, guys. Between this and Fan Four Stick, which is the more embarrassing bout of Fox trying to extend a franchise?
The Predator.
Fan Four Stick.
Oh God, I keep forgetting the Predator was one of theirs.
Although to be fair, but in the case of the Predator, the deal was pretty much was almost done at that point. Fan Four Stick was, I feel that was the catalyst for Rupert Rupert Murdoch just saying "fuck this."
I remember Fantastic was made for Fox in order to try to keep the rights of Fantastic Four.
And the end result, they literally got eaten up for lunch. And now Fantastic is literally something you can find on Disney Plus now. Like, that just feels like the ultimate full circle irony.
Disney even literally made a scene in Doctor Strange 2 just to show off that they have the Fantastic Four and the X-Men.
Yeah.
Okay, that wasn't entirely the point, but I get the feeling that was at the forefront of their thinking.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this film, not great, and I mean, if they do make a sequel to this, I better hope they do it better. I mean, they'll even have Roland Emmerich. I mean, I'm not saying they especially need Roland Emmerich to make a sequel because we mentioned earlier Top Gun Maverick. Unfortunately, the director of the original passed away in the interim, but the people they did get to make that film at least gave us shit. This one's just meh. It's not the worst film I've ever seen or the worst sequel, but it's still a pretty but it's a shining example of how things were just really fucked at Fox at this point. And within a few short years, they stopped existing as themselves and were absorbed by Disney. And it says something. We're a few years into their ownership, and so far Disney hasn't even expressed any interest in making a third one. And that's the thing. Disney will make a sequel out of anything. But Independence Day is where they draw the line. That's pretty sad. But anyway, that's it for me.
Shiroi.
Pretty much the same as Dwibs, honestly. Otherwise, I don't really have all that much to say because I was just incredibly uninvested in this. I didn't really care about the characters, even returning characters. And some of the acting was fine, and then the rest was just kind of like, I don't know if they were directed poorly or if they just were having an off day themselves, but it was just... I mean, it wasn't bad, but it just wasn't very good either. I hope the sequel hook leads to nothing, because unless it's really good, I don't know what they can do.
I mean, considering it's Disney, probably not, because of this movie. I seriously doubt Disney is going to look at this and think, yep, gotta get that sequel made.
And if they do, it'll be a direct-to-streaming kind of...
Honestly,
I'm probably one of the ones that's put on there for free, too.
Wait, really?
Kind of like how the Predator prequel is actually being treated.
How did you get put on there for free, Shiroi?
What?
It means like as not part of the premium access.
Yeah, remember Disney's very selective about what movies they charge extra for?
Honestly, if I recall correctly, I don't think they've done a premiere access movie since 2020.
Yeah, they only did. Yeah, they only did that while the pandemic was still going strong. Nowadays, that theaters are back normal, working as usual again. Now they don't really do that anymore.
I think the last one was Shang-Chi.
I think it... Wait, that one had premiere access? I don't recall it having premiere access. But no, I think it may also have to do with the big backlash that premiere access got, especially given certain things. In fact, reminder, they got sued over that in some cases.
He was hoping their new model with ads in it doesn't really go through either. But continue, Shiroi.
No, that's about it, honestly. I just don't care, and this is 2 hours I'm sadly not going to get back.
About your idea, Shiroi, I wouldn't be surprised actually if Disney just pretend that Resurgence didn't exist so that they can make a better sequel if they really do end up making a sequel.
We'll see, I guess. It won't be anytime soon, probably.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's it.
Alright, Pedro.
That was something, all right. This is the worst kind of action blockbuster you can think of. It's just boring because nothing about it works. The action is not fun. The characters are not fun. The like nothing about it. It's literally the same kind of generic shit you see from something like from something like really one of the worst Michael Bay movies, or something like a Zack Snyder Sucker Punch. It's just like, or even a lot of the stuff in BVS. It's not Wonder Woman and Batman, and it's just like, so boring and completely soulless and just terrible. There's Jeff Goldblum is there. He tries his best to try to carry this thing, but it's just to no avail. Everybody else is just kind of trying hard, but there's just no, with this script and this, there's just no saving it. So yeah, it's just, oh god, this was terrible and absolutely mind-numbingly boring.
There's something sinful about making an action movie of all things boring. Like, action is literally in the name.
No, after this, Roland Emmerich probably doesn't have much more in him at this point. Because if this is the best he can do now, I'm not really seeing a much point. Like Roland, maybe it might be time to maybe consider retiring. No, I'm pretty much done. Like, seriously, there's so little to say about this movie because it's just a big whole lot of nothing. Go on.
When it comes to this movie, honestly, God, it's so bad. Like, I was hoping that with the passage of time, Roland will actually stop having his usual cliches of particular, like, the ethnical stereotypes, but no, we're still there, and they're just as awkward as they were. And as a sequel to the story, it feels so unnecessarily serious and depressing. Again, the first movie had a way to convey the terror of the alien. The fact that, again, they destroyed the White House, they destroyed most of Washington, D.C., people die, a lot of people died, the president's wife died, everything. But they managed to balance it out with the comedy that they had, like Will Smith punching the alien in the face, fell to the earth. This is very serious for the most part. The comedy that we get is with Ben Spiner most of the time. The moment of genuine comedy that I think we got is when Jeff Goldblum realizes that it's father, running the truck during the bus. But that's pretty much just a moment, nothing more. Everything else, the new characters introduced, they're not the worst thing ever, but they're very unmemorable, particularly Chris Hemsworth's brother, character. They just don't work. And sure enough, they managed to subvert the cliche of the best friend dying, but Jesus Christ, it really feels like nothing, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
And again, the plot itself, on paper, is not really that bad. Alien comeback, the planet has, fully armed with more technology. This still doesn't manage to work. They had to work around with some things. Each character gives their own contribution, and they triumph at the end. On paper, it's not really that bad. It's just the execution, the death, the way characters are killed, particularly the returning one, is just awful. I'm really tempted to say that Will Smith got the better hand in this case.
By dying off screen.
Yes, because his wife dies unceremoniously, like 5 minutes after being shown, and very horribly too. Like, again, if you're having that kind of death, you might as well have the character die off screen as well. Say that, if the son became orphan because of an accident or something like that, it will still be insensitive, but at very least it will be better than this. The new president gets. I didn't even thought she actually had been killed in Area 51. I thought that she had been kidnapped or something, but no. Apparently, the scene where they oppose resistance will need no peace. That's the scene where she dies. I'm like, wow.
Don't you see her last line? There will be no peace. I'm wondering, were they trying to make that a line that was foreboding, one that was supposed to be awesome or something?
Bill Pullman's death at first seems to actually be more dignified, heroic sacrifice and everything. And I guess on the long run, you can argue that it worked because again, it was what they needed to pull the Queen out of the spacecraft and everything. But it kind of feels tasteless the moment you see the Queen rising up from the debris. I have to agree on that.
Mm-hmm.
The music is almost non-existent. It tries to become important towards the basically entire climax, and like I said, it sounds like other things than anything like the score of the first movie. No. This is not it. And the sequel baiting, it feels like it was a reshoot done hastily just to justify, a potential sequel hook.
Ain't that something? For as long as the movie drags on, the ending is incredibly abrupt.
Yeah, just like that.
It's like, okay, we've kept you long enough, now you can go.
And with no post-credit scene anyway. You think that Fox would try to compete with the MCU by trying to expand its range of the IPs that they already own, by having sequels to them like that. Kind of sort of what Paramount is doing right now as we're recording this. But no, if this was that, it was a very poor attempt. Like Pedro said, no wonder, and Reeves also, no wonder that Fox ended up putting on sale their properties, just a few years later. With decisions like this, what were you expecting?
Like, seriously, the more we look into Fox in their dying years, the more it really is starting to make sense. There was the Fan Four-Stick thing, there was Independence Day Resurgence, and there was The Predator. Like, holy cow.
As much as I showcased how I do not take the first movie seriously whatsoever, like, I don't think it's a complete bad movie, but I don't even think it has all these positive qualities that you said, Jova. I think it just sits in the middle as basically a parody of itself, and I'm fine with that, to be honest. But this one doesn't even have that luxury. It's just depressing, boring, which for an action movie is sacrilegious, and just not really worth it. This wasn't needed, pure and simple. Like, there's a set of sequels that, for as much as polarizing they've been, I argue they are much more better than this, both to be watched and to be compared to original properties. Take that into consideration, Fox, or whatever remains of you. Jova.
Like I said, there are definitely many opinions to be had about the original movie, but everyone can agree. Whether it was because of legit good things about it, or it just got incredibly lucky with the timing, the original release felt like an immense big impact in a lot of ways. This sequel tries, but it fails. And I feel like, and you know what? I feel like the main reason it fails is that it feels like it's trying to be the antithesis of the original movie. The original movie could be campy? Well, let's try and be downright serious. The original movie had a lot of great character interactions about them slowly coming to meet each other. Well, here most people meet each other even before the halfway point, arguably, and the only one who really has to work his way to the rest of the group is Julius, effectively making his role in the story a B-plot of the movie. Yeah, a movie with a B-plot, when it's this long. Like, did we even really need to have all of Julius's roles, honestly? What did he contribute in the end for all of his stuff?
He drove a bus.
Woo!
Like you said, I thought the character was old enough to be justified in dying off screen.
Like, and yeah, honestly, it's ironic. He's one of the characters who would have made sense to actually die off screen, but he didn't. And yeah, like, for as terrible as they treat Will Smith's character, I have to admit to you kind of do have a point. In some ways, it actually feels like Will Smith's character got mercy. Like, sure, yeah, he died of a freak accident, but God, the way a lot of characters, returning characters, mind you, in this movie die is just ridiculous. Again, most infamous is Dylan's mother, aka Will Smith's character's wife. Again, hey, remember how she had to do all that work just to survive in the original movie? Well, here she is.
Almost saved the president's wife.
Yeah, well, here she is now, dead. God, barely into the movie. Like, literally, 5 minutes after she first shows up, she's dead. like, and yes, at least they let her do something, but God, even the way she dies feels silly. Like, she was literally grabbed on by a guy from a helicopter who, I guess, had butterfingers, and that's why she fell. And you think, well, maybe this will give Dylan, her son, more to do. Nope, he's not even the main... Well, okay. Actually, no, yeah. Unlike in the original movie, this one feels like it actually has main characters, as opposed to having a proper ensemble cast. Like, some characters are clearly elevated over others. And yeah, it was kind of like that in the original movie, but it still was done in a way where everyone felt much more on an equal standing of a role overall. This, And yeah, as for new characters, Madam President has kind of an anticlimactic death. So, yeah. And then the guy who takes up her job, okay, to be fair, William Faulkner is also legit trying in this. Like, him and Jeff Goldblum are probably some of the best things in this movie. As for Liam Hemsworth, the guy was trying, but... And I guess they at least had it so that none of the friends died, so there was that. But, yeah, again, it's like, congrats, you managed to subvert that one awful cliche, but you still stooped to a ton of others, Emmerich. And I'm just sorry, like, the way this film is directed really just make it feel like Emmerich absolutely lost his touch. And by his touch, I mean, even the campy touch that might attract somebody who's, like, you know, looking for something so bad it's funny, like, not even really that. It plays it painfully straight. And when the movie is trying to be funny, oh god, the cringe. Look, Brent Spiner can be funny, but having him be the one sole source of comedy is... well, let's just say I do feel like that can be very much a recipe for disaster in some cases. And lo and behold, look what happened here. Also, I still don't get, like, were they going on about him being gay for... I guess that other scientist was from the original movie?
They wanted some brownie points.
Compared to a lot of other companies and people, I can see Roland Emmerich generally trying to push that, like he kind of, as always, trying for better or worse. It's just that the execution leaves a lot to be desired.
And just... this is legit one of the worst sequels ever made, because it is hard to put into words just how disappointing a sequel this is. Like, everything down to even the way the filter makes the camera look is less satisfying than in the original. Seriously, what was with...
holiday is ruined.
Seriously, what was with the overshading of blue in this movie? Holy... And yeah, there were some bouts of brown, but seriously, a lot of the blue. And again, it doesn't... like... some of the scenes that felt natural in the original movie feel so shoehorned into this movie. It's just... God, so little about this movie works. In fact, you know what? Next to nothing in this movie works. Jeff Goldblum works. Some of the characters and actors are working, but it just does not work. And as a result, you have this, a sinkhole of 2 hours... and one that definitely did not make enough money to hit the mark.
At least on a positive note, Jonah, we don't have any more of these for next year, so we'll have to invent something else.
Yeah, something better. But yes, that was Independence Day Resurgence.
See ya.
See ya.